Not a prayer. Not a prayer, not a chance. No way he could have caught that thing.
No, we're in as much as dark-minded as you are.
I think the possibility very strongly exists that, yes, there is something beyond what we know.
UFO sightings are usually confined to a limited area, but one was reported over several western states, starting in Oregon.
That night, we were probably just driving up and down Main Street, which is what we did most of the time.
And we stopped at the east end of the Main Street in Eureka, pulled off the road, and we're sitting there.
First thing I remember about the incident
was the light.
It was a bright light that lit up the entire sky from horizon to
Light
horizon.
That I could see the mountain across the valley and see the trees on that mountain, see the sagebrush.
The strange light sent out an electromagnetic pulse that switched off the photoelectric cells in the streetlights.
When he got home, he looked like he had seen a ghost.
Betty Robinson's husband, Bob, and his friend were coming home from a hunting trip.
They were outside the truck, and they could hear this noise. And they stood there for a few seconds and listened. It kept getting louder and louder, and he said it was just a very, very whooshing noise. Just whoosh, 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 but just deafening.
They dove under the truck. Then things got really strange.
When they got out of the truck, they had left the motor running. And as the object started to approach them, the headlights started to dim, and the motor began to sputter. As the object passed over, everything returned to normal. All they wanted to do was hurry up and get home, and get away from it, because they didn't know if it was coming back.
The object was tracked moving from Eureka to Reno, Nevada, then south to Las Vegas. Near Nellis Air Force Base, it blew up. More than 1,000 people witnessed the explosion.
Fighters were scrambled from Nellis in Las Vegas, Luke near Phoenix, Arizona. The object was tracked on radar, both surveillance radars and height-finding radars, and that's important. It's on two separate kinds of radar, so you don't have weather-related phenomena. You have a real solid object.
Randall believes the Air Force tried to turn the Eureka sightings and the Nellis explosion into two different incidents.
What really happened was we have a single event that took place over a space of about 16 minutes from the Eureka end of the sightings until it was seen to explode over Las Vegas.
Officially, the Air Force claimed the Eureka object was a bolide meteor, and the Nellis explosion was either a U-2 spy plane or a weather balloon.
What kind of radar operator couldn't tell the difference between a balloon drifting at the whim of the winds and an intelligently controlled U-2 aircraft?
I estimate that this object probably was traveling more than 2,000 miles an hour at times. We can pretty much rule out most existing aircraft and missiles at that time.
Why would the Air Force cover this up?
The Air Force has been charged with keeping our skies clear of enemy craft. If they can't stop UFOs, then they clearly can't do their mission.
I believe it was an object under control, intelligent control, and just possibly not from around the neighborhood.
Later on Unexplained Mysteries, the intruder at Nellis Air Force Base.
21.3 degrees, 18.5 degrees elevation. Required this unknown object. P1 control doesn't know what type of aircraft it is either.
I don't think you'd really see many objects wandering in by accident.
The rare daylight sightings captured on tape near Roswell.
I got a call and they said, come out to Midway, there's UFOs out there.
What he has captured on tape, we feel is authentic.
The famous astronaut who had an extraordinary encounter with a UFO.
It was a saucer, came flying over their heads, put down 3 little landing gear and landed right out on the dry lake bed.
And we'll condense all the best evidence into our UNX report, coming up right here on Unexplained Mysteries. Unexplained Mysteries UFO Best Evidence. Nellis Air Force Base has been the scene of other credible sightings. kind of craft could trespass onto a highly secure airbase.
I don't think you'd really see many objects wandering in by accident.
The object seemed to be more advanced than anything in the military's arsenal.
This craft shows up, and it's like they're playing with kids. It's like, do whatever they want and buy now. That's scary. It seemed to move in whichever direction it wanted to go whenever it wanted to, contrary to any aircraft that I've seen in the past.
In my first look at that tape, I said, wow. And I continue to say, wow. There are only three things that could be on that tape. One is a very elaborate and very expensive hoax. I don't think that's what we're seeing. The second is some kind of a black project, a secret project that has some very unusual aerodynamic characteristics. And the third, if you can eliminate all those aerodynamic answers, could be a true unknown. And if that is an unknown, if you can come to that conclusion, you got a pretty interesting piece of history right there.
The video appears to be genuine. Specifically, it was taken by contractor personnel that are operating tracking sites for the United States Air Force.
Did the cameras pick up one of the military's black projects, like a stealth bomber? Perhaps a top-secret aircraft reverse-engineered from alien technology.
The camera operators and the tracking sites are not exposed to those highly classified aircraft on a typical basis.
What's startling about it is that it doesn't resemble any shapes that I would know immediately. And that's why I thought it was interesting to start with.
It almost appears to be like spherical in the center and with a appendage on the bottom and on the top. You don't see any evidence of rotors.
No. And also the startling thing is it seems to change shape.
A frame-by-frame analysis reveals the changes the object's shape goes through.
The physical profile of the object changes almost frame to frame, and sometimes it appears almost to be a fuzzy, gassy cloud. In some portions of the video, it appears to be several spherical objects surrounding a dark mass.
When something starts to change shape like that in the air, you become very, very puzzled because you realize that you're looking at something that appears to involve a whole new technology that we don't understand.
The superior technology intimidates seasoned professionals.
Like us viewing an ant farm. And the ants think they're it. That's the scary part.
The first report of UFOs came from Roswell, New Mexico. Unusual craft are still being videotaped there.
We began taping UFOs on March 5th. And I got a call and they said, come out to Midway, there's UFOs out here.
Midway, a short distance from Roswell. UFO experts believe there is a connection between the first crash and today's sightings.
New Mexico as a whole has had a lot of sightings. And I think that there is a tremendous interest by our visitors, should we say, as to the activities that have taken place here in the past.
We have a piece of film of a jet, I think it was a Citation, that flew right over the property.